Hey humans! So in today's video I'm going to be practicing anatomy and I figured I would bring you along for the ride. So let's get into it. Just a disclaimer, I had to record this piece of audio 3 different times because my computer decided to switch my playback settings from my speakers to my microphone and my microphone cannot play sound. So I couldn't figure out what was wrong, and I ended up deleting a bunch of stuff thinking that the file was corrupted or something. But you don't need to hear about all that techie mumbo jumbo. You're here for the art. So let's talk about that and ignore my frustrations with my fucking computer. Get back to what we're drawing today. So today I am practicing my anatomy. So my history with anatomy is a little rocky. When I started out doing traditional art, I was pretty okay at anatomy, mostly because I just sat there and fixed it over and over and over for like hours and looking at myself in the mirror trying to figure out what I was doing wrong until I got it right. But when I got onto digital art and I found out that bases were a thing, they were all I used for a hot minute. Just because it was so easy, because the anatomy was already there for me. All I had to do was add in my character details and bada bing, bada boom, it was done. But now I want to make a comic and I also want to do art commissions, so I don't want to have to rely on other people's art like bases to make good anatomically good drawings. Because if I'm going to sell art or if I'm going to be making art that is purely from my mind, I don't want to have to rely on somebody else for that. I want to be able to draw it on my own. So that is why I'm trying to learn anatomy. And I think I mentioned this, but I am making my own comic. Not only do I want to do like art commissions in my style instead of just like those abstract landscapes and whatnot that I've been doing, I also want to make a comic. And I need to be able to draw my characters in a lot of different poses that I come up with that I might not necessarily find other people have already made in a base form. Like if I wanted my character sitting a specific way with like one leg up, how am I going to find that specific pose in a form of a base, basically? So anatomy is something I need to learn anyway, so that's what I'm trying to do. And this video, don't get your hopes up. The anatomy in this video is very bad. I know it's bad. This is I tried to learn anatomy and I failed video. So, yeah. It didn't work. And I will explain the reasons why in just a sec. But for now, can we focus on this forward-facing head and how it looks like a reptilian from Middle Earth that is controlling modern governments today? Look at it. Look at it. And that is emblematic of the problem with the technique that I'm using to draw right now. And that is that I want to include my more stylized, style, like my more stylized faces and way of drawing feet and character details. But the technique I'm using is very, like, realistically proportioned. So, God, that fucking face. It just doesn't work. The two just don't work together. And because I want to make it stylized, but I don't know how to, my brain just doesn't know how to change the skeleton or the meat of the body to make the rest of it look stylized. I only know how to do the little details stylized. So I can't just take something realistic and stylize it. I need to build it stylized from the ground up. Also, my brain just wasn't wrapping around the whole skeleton thing very well. It was just like, what the fuck is this? I don't know what to do with this. And I'm like, you draw on it. And my brain's like, what? So, it also came out looking really stiff, which I didn't like. And again, their proportions are just too realistic. I want it to look more stylized and more fun and be able to pose it a bunch of different ways without having to worry about it being stiff. So, yeah. Basically, this technique just doesn't work for me. If you're wanting to draw more realistic bodies, it could work for you. It could work for me too if I wanted to draw realistic bodies and everything. If I just kept practicing with it. And I'm sure if I kept practicing with it, eventually I would learn how to do stylized bodies in this, I suppose, format, this technique. But that's going to take a while. I know it is because my brain is stubborn. So instead, I just use a different technique, a different way of drawing bodies. God, that fucking reptilian face. I can't get over it. It's the nose. It's the eyes. No. So in this video, it's mostly just me failing to draw how I want to draw and refusing to accept that it looks bad. And just thinking, you know what, we're just gonna keep going at it. If I keep drawing, it'll look better eventually. No, it doesn't. Past self, I don't know what drugs you were on, but I want some. That optimism you had is just good stuff right there. So I'm gonna shut up now and let the video play out, and I will be back at the end to kind of explain more of the problems with this style and my plans for future videos. Yeah.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
If we are one grain of sand in the middle of the ocean, can you try to understand how a touch can cause explosions? Rise up, I'm too great to be landed. Rise up, we're too great to be standing.
They never gonna stop us, fly at 'em like choppers, better cook those risks, cold blood on my fists, we fire starters, one out of a million marine show sights, always had a feeling that I won't deny, not what, never could toss, look in my eyes, I'm on the rocks, rise. just floating. Yeah, I'm that grain of sand that made it out the ocean. A couple milli now, I'm causing a commotion. I've been coasting, hear my name around the world like an explosion.
Hi, I'm back. So now I have added on some of my character details for this character that I'm drawing. You can see that I have finished drawing all of the meat, all of the figures, and I dislike every single one of them. Well, okay, that's a lie. I kind of like the sitting pose, but again, it's still not stylized enough for my liking. I also really don't like how the stylized character details like her tail, horn, and ears look on these proportionally correct bodies. It just doesn't mesh well. If you've been paying attention, you know that's the problem I have with this technique, period. It just doesn't mesh well with anything stylized. So yeah, look at it. Look at how stiff and icky they look. There's no way I could replicate this in my own poses. And trying to add in the hair, no, it's not working, babe. Just stop. So yeah. In my next video, which is going to be posted right after this one, it is where I try anatomy again, but in a way that makes sense to my brain, and I am successful, and I think it looks really good, and I think I'm going to practice drawing it that way more, and once I feel confident in that, I will start my comic, and I will open commissions for character art and figure art instead of just like portraitures and whatnot. Because right now I only have commissions for things that I can trace or things that I can for sure draw by myself, but anatomy is not one of those yet. And then after that video, I will be doing character sheets because I am making a comic, and I will do character sheets for those, and I'll kind of like explain what goes into a character sheet and everything, and you'll learn more about these characters that I have for this comic. And these, yeah, the video's almost over. I don't want to get into it right now, but I love these characters. That's the baseline. So yeah, you can see me trying to add a face to this and just epically failing. Oh god. So yeah, I will see you in the next video.